Okay, so a new day, a new hope, and another opportunity for learning with IGP. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are right now. Hello everyone, welcome to our Institution of Global Professionals International Fair webinar. So dear lovely participants, I'm your host for this live session, myself Nasreen, and I'm from Bangladesh. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, really I'm proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I feel respected and privileged to host this webinar. And it's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professionals Paid webinar. So thank you once again for joining with us in this marvelous moment. And it's my humble request and pleasure to all of you, please stay with us till the end of our program. Dear participants, each time you can give a react and comment in our webinar. You can also share this in a timeline, Facebook groups, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn also. So don't forget to give a thumbs up to our Facebook official page and subscribe our YouTube channel. I'm sure that you all will have many takeaways and payoffs from this webinar. So dear participants, dear learners, dear teachers, let's learn together and grow together. Because we believe that power is gained by sharing knowledge, not holding it. So once again, I'm Nasreen, member in IGP. Welcome you all. Okay, so let's see our comment box first. Okay, right now we have an Isaiah joined from YouTube, Nam Charlie Yamaguchi, Sir Alex. Good afternoon. We have Nam Siana, Nam Evelyn, Sir Kevin. Okay, we have Sir Vishana, Nam Marco, Nam Angelica, Nam Eleni, Nam Danica, Nam Carmela Behane, Sir Jordan, Nam Patricia, Sir John Kinney, Nam Anna Mary, Nam Janeline, Nam Rasmia, Nam Sari Luviram. So we have right now so many new participants who have joined in our live webinar. So thank you everyone and good afternoon once again. So dear participants, allow me to share a little concept about IGP because it's very important to know about our institution. Yes. So IGP basically serves student and community resource providing holistic social work and education for field of profession generation. IGP also leading on online skill development institute with thousands of learners worldwide. We make it able to use for every knowledge seeker to originate personality, more ambitious, be confident to face any circumstance, and develop their own skills. We are entrusted with international recognition. Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institution that provides social work. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skills just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation all over the world. And we organized our webinar, training, online, offline courses, etc. by best and trained speakers, coaches from all over the world to create a best learning platform for all of you. And our mission is to empower people, our youth, and enhance. Yes. Dear participants, we have already successfully completed our 625 webinar, and this is webinar number 626. And the topic is Edtech integration in online teaching and learning. Alright, so let's start our program with IGP's mantra or slogan, that is feed your skills. And you can also comment in our comment box with hashtag feed your skills, hashtag with IGP. Okay, so dear participants, today we have our honorable speakers from Philippines, Sir Mark Joseph C. Sardo. Okay, so dear participants, let's welcome our honorable speaker. Hello, sir. Good
Hello,
morning.
yeah, good day to everyone. Again, I'm March Joseph Sardo from the Philippines, and you can call me in this particular session. You can just call me Teacher MJ. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Yes. All right. Um, should I start presenting my
Sure, sir. The
slides?
platform is all yours, sir.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. Again, so
Yeah.
good morning to everyone, or good afternoon if you are in other parts of the country. Um, Good morning to my fellow teachers in the Philippines who are currently on their classes since it's already um, it's lunch break here in the Philippines, and I would love to send my greetings to all the Filipino teachers who are currently um, facilitating their face-to-face classes. All right, so I hope that you can learn something from my topic for today, even though you're not here. So, and I also welcome the international participants and the participants from the other countries who um, who share their time to be with me in this afternoons or in this noons session. So again, I'm teacher MJ, and my topic is about edtech integration in online teaching and learning. So I know many of you are very familiar with this one, but before that, I would like to share a very short story. So, before, we are on the traditional mode of classes in school. So we are talking about the on-site classes wherein students, teachers, and other stakeholders are in school. And we are facilitating our classes with simultaneous interaction and Q&A sessions and other impromptu discussions. So, and then there came the pandemic, and the national or nationwide lockdowns were implemented, which caused schools to close and other institutional learnings to stop working. So, and then we tried to make a solution by creating online classes and creating blended mode of classes at home, just to continue the goals of our educational system. But the problem is, in this particular article, we saw different problems. One of which is the fall or the bound or the fall of teaching and learning during the pandemic. All right. So that's one of the problems that we faced. Another one is, of course, the sudden task or the indifference of being familiar with the current environment and unable to adapt with the current trends in technologies in teaching and learning. That's why we have this kind of solution. So we talk about the innovation of education through the pandemic, wherein it was mentioned that we can use other information communications technology just to figure out and find solutions in dealing with the problems brought by this pandemic. So it was mentioned that innovation is not just doing something new. It is thinking of new ways to improve a product, a method, a process, a situation, or an idea. So that's why we innovated our teaching and learning during this time of pandemic. And what is that innovation? It only means that we integrated educational technology so that we can have a very smooth and a very adaptive and conducive environment in our teaching and learning. So my goal for today's session is to show some of the educational technology tools which helped me survive this time of pandemic. And I hope that many of you are also using this one. And if you have questions regarding those applications and tools, you can freely ask me about that. So since I have certifications from the different applications that I have that I will show you right now. All right. So again, our topic is EdTech integration in online teaching and learning. I wasn't able to integrate this in the instructional design that we are using during our online classes. No? Um, because I know not all of the participants are or many of our participants have different um, subject majorships. So I am a science teacher. That's why the ID or the instructional design that I'm using is the 5 E's or sometimes the 4 A's. And some of you are using problem-based instructions, so something like that. All right. So before that, I would like to all right. So I would like to show you the different applications, and I hope that you will have the time to follow through the process and some of the discussions that I will show you. So the first application that I used is the Google Workspace apps and extensions. So I hope that you are familiar with this Google Workspace apps and extensions. Google is really a very useful tool to help us in our teaching and learning situations. So I'll show you some of the tools and I'll show you some of the ideas that I use to make my teaching and learning smooth and fun and easy to manage. Right. So especially during this time of pandemic. So the first thing that I did is I use Google Slides. So according to the Google website, Google Slides is a free and super simple way for teachers to create presentations and learning resources for students. So I can show you some of the examples of the interactive tools and interactive presentations that I use. So I use Google Slides to present or to make our discussions more interactive. Yeah. So this one is an example of how I use Google Slide as an interactive tool. So as you can see, um, I have here some examples of presentations that the students I'm teaching high school students, and some of them are really fond of playing games. That's why I use Google Slides as a means for them to create games. So we have here an example of a puzzle wherein I gave this Google Slide or interactive Google Slides for students to manipulate. So we have here an example of a puzzle piece wherein the students will rearrange the puzzle piece and guess the mystery animal. So this is one of our ways on how we can integrate educational technology in our teaching and learning setup. So say for example, you want the students to rearrange puzzles. So we have here an example of a puzzle wherein they can use to guess an animal. Say for example, if that's the task that you wanted them to perform. So yeah, so I'll try to fix this one. So right now they will see the feature or the figure of the puzzle piece after they rearrange it properly. They can also use um, Google Slides for sorting tasks. Say for example, you have there a collection of items in your slides and you ask students to sort the tasks or sort the objects in the proper categorizations. Say, for example, this battery belongs to a non-biodegradable side, and this orange peel and this banana peel belongs to a biodegradable um, side, and of course this crumpled piece of bottled water is also under the non-biodegradable side. Right. So as you can see, we can utilize the Google Workspace for gamifying our lessons and making our lessons more interactive and more learner centered. Right. So some of the examples of the tasks that I also used is finding hidden objects. So say for example, this is the thing that I did in my Google Slides. I inserted objects here and I put it in I merged it. I group them so that students will have time to find and drag the objects to the given box. Say, for example, they are looking for a sock, and then you have there are plenty of objects grouped together. So the students will have time to look for it and then to paste it in the given box. And then the battery. So if we can put it here, we have a way to gamify and make our presentations more interactive. Right. So aside from that, I also have here identification wherein they can encircle the biodegradables below. So using the Google for App Education tools, say for example, they need to encircle the biodegradable so they can insert shapes. Say for example, this one is a biodegradable, right? So they have the ability to use their knowledge in digital skills or digital literacy skills by using Google workspace for education, tools such as Google Slide, and at the same time, learn from the discussions and from the activities that they need to perform. So, say for example, if we need to show them or to show the students and some of the biodegradables, you can do this process, right? So that's one way on how we can make use of Google Slides as a tool for integrating and making our presentations and classroom teachings more interactive and fun. All right. So this is for those teachers who are really fond of using Google Workspace for education. Right. So we have the first one, making our lessons more interactive and fun using Google Slides. Right. So this is the example. If you wanted a copy of this presentation, you can just message me. Right. So yeah. So later I'll discuss. Here are some of the tips in using Google Slides as an interactive material. So you need to first ask your students about their expectations. Why? Because we need to find out. Let me make this bigger. All right. So the first thing that we need to understand is that we need to ask our students expectations. Why? Because we don't know if students really know how to use the application. So the first thing that we need to do is to find out in what level or in what part of the educational technology use is the student currently or in what state of the or in what level of educational technology knowledge the students are in right now. Yeah, so you need to ask the students if they know how to use this one. And if you saw that many of them already know how to use the tool and some of them are not really familiar with the tool, what you need to do is to orient everyone so that they will have the same level of knowledge in using the tool, right? So number two is to take students' interests into account. So say for example, if they wanted to, if there are students who like loves to play games or who loves to work together, you need to create tasks and of course you need to create activities that will require them to collaborate with one another, right? So and then next number is evaluate engagement level. So you will monitor, you will have to dedicate a time to monitor each student's activities to see if they have high levels of engagements. So I will show you another tool later which will help you utilize or which will help you accomplish this particular task wherein you will have the ability to monitor every students without going from one student group to another. So yeah. And then lastly, create amazing interactive presentations and lectures. So those are some of the tips and lectures or in and steps on how to create interactive um, slides for your students. And another thing, yeah, all right. So we have here Google Slides. So if you wanted a free copy of the presentation, you just need to click this icon or Google Slides icon, and you will be redirected to the presentation that I showed you earlier. All right. So um, if you understand what I've said earlier, can you please type number one in the chat box? If you are watching in the Facebook page of IGP or in the YouTube channel, please type number one so I can continue to the next application or tool. And thank you so much. All right. Can you please type one again? Sorry. Um, yeah, I can see some of the responses. All right. Thank you so much for your responses. So I will now proceed to the next one. This is the first tool that we are discussing. The first tool is about Google Workspace for education. So we'll move on to another set of tools or edtech or educational technology tools that we can integrate in our teaching and learning classes after the Google Workspace for education. All right. So next one is Google Meet. So it is an easy to use, reliable, and secure video conferencing tool. All right. So what I did in my Google Meet application is I integrated or I downloaded an attendance tool that will help you monitor um, your students' attendance even without checking them individually. So what I'm talking about is this one. So I'll show you the interface or the environment that I have in my Google Meet. So you can go to Google Meet or using this bento box icon or bento icon or waffle icon in other countries and look for Google Meet. So after clicking Google Meet, you will be redirected in this environment, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click new meeting and start an instant meeting. All right, so it will show you this environment. So let's wait for that. Right, I'll turn off my camera and my audio. All right. So as you can see, many of us are really familiar with Google Meet. So what I'm going to teach you right now is to how is um, a way for us to determine the attendance or the presence and absences of our students even without looking individually, right? Even without checking individual names of our students. So whenever students enter your link in your Google Meet, the attendance will be automatically checked, and the number of hours and or minutes that they stayed in the meeting will also be revealed. So this is a problem for us, especially teachers who are teaching in online classes. Taking attendance or taking your students' attendance, presence, and absence is really challenging and time consuming. So during my online teaching during my online class, so under the pandemic era, I decided to look for an application that will help me monitor my students' attendance. So, as you can see, this is the platform, Google Meet, and you can see the buttons that we are having. If you are a user of Google Meet or a free user of Google Meet, you'll see same buttons that I have, except for this host control button. So we have here the host control button, and you will also have the same number of buttons here. You have the microphone button, the camera button, the caption. Some of us don't have a caption button, and the raise hand button and the share or present now button. So we also have here a kebab icon for the more options. So if you click that, you will have this kind of features. So yeah. So as you can see in the left side part or in the right side, in the lower right part of my screen, I have here this icon. So can you check your Google Meet application if you have this one? So I guess some of you doesn't have this application or this icon. So this one is what we call as the attendance icon. This is an extension made under Google and is available in our Google Workspace or Chrome store. So as you can see, this one is the link for the attendance for Google Meet. So I'll show you a short demo on how I use this Google tool or Google extension to maximize and help us in teaching our online classes and at the same time taking the attendance of our students during our online classes, right? So I'll open Google Meet in my phone. So yeah, I have here the attendance. So what you need to do is if you don't have this kind of icon, you just need to go to Chrome Web Store. So just type chrome.google.com /web store and then look for the attendance for Google Meet button, right? So this one is a featured app and it has at least 4 stars. So moving on, I'll go with my Google Meet. So I'll enter an account inside the Google Meet so that I will have a participant. You can also enter in the link given in the screen. So it's JCRUORMZQF. So JCRUORMZQF. All right. Oh, it's another me. I'll leave this one. So I'll use another account so that it will be easy for me to monitor. So what I'll show you is a way on how we can monitor our students' attendance in joining our online classes. All right, so I have here a participant. It's my other account, so I'll admit this one. All right. So say for example, you have a lot of students in your class. So let's say I wanted to check the attendance of my students in today's class. So what I'm going to do is to click this attendance icon and then add class. Then say for example, this is IGP class. The class name is IGP class. So let's try to save this one for a while. So we have here the IGP class attendance group. So I'll click this one and then select and edit the button or select and click the button to a name of the student in a class. So say for example, yeah, I'll click this one. Yeah, my name is not appearing. Let's wait for a while. I'll rejoin. I'll restart this one for a while. It's not appearing right now. I'll use another account to enter. So this is a one-time thing to do. So if you are new with your class, if you have a new class list, they just need to join once and then you will have the ability to monitor their attendance easily. Right. So let's try. All right, I create another class. All right. So if this case happens, no, what will happen is automatically I will see the name of the student who entered the class. But if it's not appearing, what you need to do is to just click here and then insert the student name of the student who entered. So for example, I have here J, this one, J real, and then we can enter this one so that the student will be registered in our attendance. All right. So there are two ways on how we can insert our student. There will be an automatic addition or addition of our student in the class or a manual addition. So what I'm doing is a manual addition. All right. So we have here this username jreal. So we will be entering him to the class. So yeah. Um, all right. And then after we did enter jreal, so we can have our class facilitated normally. So we're in after after we facilitated our class, we can click export so that will have the data for our today's schedule. So you just need to enter or input our student name once, and then you will have a continuous class for the next days, and then it will be automatically generated. Yeah, so that's the perk of the attendance class in Google Meet. So I'll hope I'll demo this soon later, since the automatic button is not working right now. So I'll just manually input the attendance of the students. All right. So yeah, let's retry it soon. So hopefully it will work. So with that, I will just move on to the next tool. So the next tool that I'll show you is Google Forms. So it's an easy to use, reliable, and secure video conferencing application for surveys. Ayan. All right. So we have here an example of a classwork or a classroom created under the Google Classroom with a lot of Google Forms integrated in the activities. All right. So I have here this one. I created a class entitled Squid Game Class, wherein I um, I made an interactive and a gamified classroom using the concept of Squid Games. So if you're familiar with the movie Squid Games, it's on Netflix and it's a survival game. So I just copied the positive values and the positive scenes that I saw in Squid Game, including some of the games, and created an interactive and a classroom based instructional material out of that. So I have here games. So one example is game one, red light, green one, or green light, wherein I used Google Forms to create the game. So let's try this Google form. So as you can see, we have here the game one, red light, green light tool, or game number one. So in the movie, it was the first game wherein the participants of the game will have to run if the light is green and stop if the light is red. All right. So you can see here some of the details that are needed in the game. So I'll just copy my email and then paste it here, and then my full name so that I can access the official game. All right. So this one is a tool that we can use. So the first one is, of course, you need to include instructions so that the students will feel that the game is talking to them. All right. So read each statements and select the word green if it's appropriate thing to do, or the things that we need to go, and select the word red if otherwise stop. Right. Say for example, and I also use Google Forms to help them feel that they are inside the game by inserting here an audio file of the Squid Game, um, in particular to the game that they are working on with. All right, so this is the sound or the track or audio track that was used in the movie in this particular game. All right. So we have here, for example, a question: is it okay to mix chlorine and rubbing alcohol for fun experiments? So is it a red or a green? Do we need to stop this activity, or it is okay to go, or it is okay to proceed? So green symbolizes go, and red symbolizes stop. So I'll just select green, and then say, for example, it is our role to teach the young people the value of pagmamano or honoring gesture. So here in the Philippines, this is a go. So this is green. And then professional development, say for example, is it necessary to deduct assessment scores to those students who submitted their work beyond deadline? So in the pandemic, it's not a thing that we need to do. So we need to click red or red, right? And then click, sorry, submit. All right. So that's how we play the game red light and green light in Google Forms. All right. So if you wanted to know more about this, I have here a video of my Squid Game. All right. So yeah. So that's how we can utilize a Google Form. We can use it to create adventures, to create selections wherein students will have their own adventures, and to utilize it to create a gamified classroom-based activity. All right. So that's how we can use Google Forms. All right. So moving on to the next application, all of those are all part of the Google Workspace apps and extensions. All right. So yeah, right now we are going or moving to the next part of the tools. And I know that many of you are familiar with this one, ClassPoint. So as you can see, ClassPoint is a powerful interactive classroom quiz or tool that helps you build strong live engagement with students and improve their learning outcomes. All right. So what we're going to do is to you can practice your practice using the tool by installing this guide. So you can learn how to install ClassPoint by clicking the logo or scanning the QR code. All right. So we have here an icon wherein it will redirect you to the ClassPoint website. So here is the ClassPoint website. And then this is the step-by-step procedure on how to install our ClassPoint. All right, so ClassPoint is an extension or a Microsoft Office extension, particularly in PowerPoint presentations. So I know many of you are familiar with ClassPoint, and this one is also a must-have application since this is a free application offered by Inkno, right? So this is the step-by-step installation guide on how we can use ClassPoint in our online teaching and learning class. All right, so I'll show you some of the demonstrations that we have. All right, so I'll show you the interface of the ClassPoint, including the quiz types and the sample activities that we have. Right, so I will just use this presentation. All right, so this one is the example of ClassPoint. Right. So we have here the PowerPoint presentation that you are using. If you installed ClassPoint, you will see a tab of Inkno ClassPoint here in the ribbon. All right, so you just need to click this one, and I'll show you the different functions and different quiz or interactive quiz types of our ClassPoint extension. All right, so as you can see, I am a current um, pro account user of ClassPoint. So if you wanted to have pro accounts for at least a month, ClassPoint webinars are available in the ClassPoint Facebook group and ClassPoint Facebook page in our country and other countries. Right? So you just need to attend one webinar and you will be given a 1 month pro account for ClassPoint. So every time that you attend, you will receive a code for the pro account. So right now, I my account will expire in April 18, 2023. All right, so that's mostly a year. All right. So what we have here in ClassPoint is that we have the different whiteboard and pen features. So we have here a whiteboard background wherein you will have the ability to create whiteboards while teaching inside the PowerPoint presentation. So most of the time, we teachers are using other platforms that requires us to open additional browsers while presenting our presentation. So say for example, if you are a user of PowerPoint presentations, you are required to open, say for example, Google Chrome to find an application that will show us a whiteboard. Um, and in ClassPoint, whiteboards are available inside the PowerPoint presentations themselves. So you don't need to go out of your presentation. So what's good with this one is also it will help you focus on your teaching without going to a lot of browsers and websites, right? So you will have here the ability to change the background of your boards. So you can use ruled paper if you are teaching students beyond or below or under preschools or students in elementary and other grade levels. You can use blackboard, the black background if you are using a white based or light based color of pens, or white if you wanted to use dark colored theme pens and cursors, right? So that's one of the features of our class point. We also have here the different interactive quizzes. So we are right now we have only 5 useful interactive quizzes, and I know many of you are really familiar with this one. So we have here a multiple choice a multiple choice type of interactive quiz. We also have a word cloud type of interactive quiz and a short answer type, a slide drawing, and an image upload. So yeah, so if you want to experience the application itself, say for example, we have here a question. Yeah, so this one is an example of an activity inside ClassPoint. Right? So if the teacher asked you to send or to find out every student's individual favorite food, or yeah, we can use word cloud in finding the answers. So say for example, if you wanted to join the presentation, what you need to do is to install ClassPoint, create a question, select a particular interactive quiz that you wanted to facilitate. So say for example, you wanted word cloud, and then you can now launch um, the ClassPoint app by showing them how to join. Right. So they can go to ClassPoint app and then insert the code 99428 so that the participants or the students will have the ability to join the presentation and send their answers in the um, particular slide. So say for example, participants joined. Yeah, say for example, I'll join. The code is 99428. So if I am a participant, say for example, ClassPoint.app, and then the code is 99248. So I'll join this one. Sorry. It's 99428. 99428. I'll join it. And then this will be the student view. So the question is, what is your favorite food? Right. So the teacher will launch the question. Right. So as you can see in the student view, this will be shown. So the question will be answered using this box. So for example, here in the Philippines, my favorite food is adobo. So I'll send my answer, click add. My answer is adobo. It was sent and it will show you here in the cloud. So I'll close the submission. So as you can see, Thank you so much for the participant who answered burger. Yeah, and then yeah, here is my answer. So that's how we can utilize ClassPoint in our teaching and learning classes. All right. So yeah, and aside from this, we will have the ability to extract the answers. I wasn't able to save the answers, but we will have the ability to save our answers in our PowerPoint presentation. All right. So again, I'll submit an answer. So I'll show you how it will be extracted in our PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So after submitting my response, here is my answer. I can insert it as a result in the slide. All right, so we will have here the favorite food and the student responses. All right, so this will be included in our PowerPoint presentation. So the responses from the word cloud will be inserted in the PowerPoint presentation itself. All right, so that's how we can utilize our tool. Okay, so I hope that you are following with the discussions and the tools that we are presenting. So again, I will just recall some of this one. So the first one is Google Slides. You can create gamified instruction and of course gamified classes and activities using the Google Slides. So I showed you a lot of ways on how we can utilize this one. In the Google Meet, we can use this one as a tool for video conferencing at the same time in monitoring our students' attendance manually or automatically. And then lastly, we have Google Forms wherein we will have the ability to create gamified um, adventures by selecting or by creating um, tasks that require students to answer, and then these answers will help them go to another adventure. All right, and then the next tool aside from the Google Workspace for extensions apps is ClassPoint. So this one is an extension dedicated only to Microsoft PowerPoint application. All right. So we have Google applications, we have a Microsoft application, and right now we will have the final application, which is also um, which can either be used in both presentations. So this one is the Nearpod application. Right. So I hope and many of you will have a time to explore this very powerful and very useful tool in our online teaching and learning. All right. So Nearpod is an application that helps add a layer of opportunities for students to group interactively. Right? So it has also immediate feedback to slideshow style lessons. All right. So another thing that you need to have is the application guide. So there are a lot of application guides for this application. And if you wanted to explore this app, just go to this icon, click the icon or just scan the QR code so that we will have to be redirected to the Nearpod interface. All right. So I'll show you the interface of Nearpod, the content and activity types, including reports. So this one is really important to us. And then sample preview, and I'll give you a 3-month gold account code for this one. All right. So let's explore it. Okay. So let's explore the app by going to nearpod.com. Right. So this one is nearpod.com. If you are new to Nearpod, just click nearpod.com and then you will be asked to um, say for example if you are new to Nearpod, you will be asked to log in or to create an account. Right? So again, go to nearpod.com and you will be redirected to its library or log in or sign in interface. So you can use your Google accounts to sign in or to create accounts by clicking sign up. So if you don't have an account, you just need to click sign up and then choose the role that you are having. So if you wanted your students to use this one, they will click students. If you are a teacher, just click the teacher button. You will be asked to insert your first name, last name, and other details and then just click the word sign up or the tab sign up. And then you will be redirected to this interface. So I've been using Nearpod since the pandemic. So I have here presentations from the year 2021 and other presentations in this current year. So yeah, so I'll show you some of the examples that I use. Nearpod is an all-in-one application wherein you have the different set of activities, quizzes, and etc. So this also can be integrated in Google Slides. So like what I said earlier. All right. So you can have here, say for example, if you wanted to create a lesson, so this will be a sample lesson for us. So just click the button I clicked earlier, and you will be redirected this part. So you can insert the title here. Say for example, I am teaching science for. So this will be the topic. And I will show you the different contents and activities present in Nearpod. So as you can see in the content, we can insert our slides. If you have an ready-made Google Slides or ready-made PowerPoint presentations and you wanted it to become a Nearpod presentation, you just need to drag or drop the presentation and it will be registered in the Nearpod application. All right. So if you wanted or if you don't have a ready-made slides, you can also create your own using this slide button here, wherein you will have or you will experience how to create slides inside Nearpod. So you can also use the videos in your presentations, breaks to energize and calm our students. If you don't have anything or any category or any content which falls in all of this, you just need to click web content to insert the link of the tool that you are going to integrate. All right, so we can also have here Nearpod 3D, PhET simulation for those science teachers who are really working on with simulations, field trips, and etc. So we have more for activities. We have here time to climb, algebra tiles for mathematics teachers, color tiles, etc. Flip grid, drag and drop, matching type, and more. All right. So these are the contents and activities for our Nearpod. Right, so I'll show you a sample of the thing that I did from my current teaching. All right. So we have here an example, this one. So I'll show you this one. All right. So as you can see, students can join the presentation by clicking or going to the join.nearpod.com website or in the application if they have the application. So I'll show you um, a way on how students can join this presentation. All right. So let me just show you the teacher view and the student view in this particular application. All right. So I'll move this one here for the teacher view. And then I'll create another browser tab for the student view. So I just copied the link given by the teacher. All right. And then I'll show you the student view. All right. So what I did was I just copied the link and then paste it in the browser. So this is the student view on the right side and the teacher's view on the left side. Right. So students can join as a guest or students can join using the sign up buttons in the different applications that they have. So if they have Google accounts, they can sign in using the Google accounts. If they don't have accounts, they can join as a guest and then they can insert their name. So for example, NJ. If they wanted to have a nickname in the slide, so they can also include the optional nickname. But in this case, I just wanted to include my full name. Then click join a lesson. Right? So they will be redirected to the slide. So again, the right side or the left side of the screen is for the teachers and the left side is for the students. So I included here in the presentation some of the interactives that I guess is really helpful for the teaching and learning classes in online learning. All right, so let's move on. So as you can see, both slides have the same content for the student and teacher view. Then here's a mood check-in activity. So as you can see, the poll was also shown in the students. So students will have a time or ability to choose or to experience multiple choice questions through mood check-in. So say for example, I'm happy, and then I will submit this one. So as you can see, the prompt set says it's already submitted or the answer is already submitted. In my case, I can also send mine or I can show them. Yeah. So this one is the response is already submitted. We can click next. And as you can see, same content in the activities. All right. And then if you will have to run a video, yeah, in this teacher mode, you can see that the difference between the student and teacher view. So in the teacher's view, it was mentioned that the teacher can play the video for the students or the students can play the video on their own. So in my case, I will click teacher plays. So this option will give me the ability to play the video or give me the control on how I will present the video. So if I click the students play button or students play choice, the students will have the ability to control the video on their own. So since I wanted everyone to have the same presentation, I will click teachers play. So continue. So when I click the play button, so the students will have the same presentation view and I will have the ability to control this one. Right. So that's how we can include videos in our presentation. Right. So here's an example of an open-ended question. So students will have to submit their answers. Say for example, the three things that we need to make fire. Say for example, the answer is oxygen, fuel, and heat. So the student will submit the answers and then it will be shown in the teacher's view. So it was shown that MJ Sardo submitted this answer, oxygen, fuel, and heat. And this one in the student view, you can see that the answer has been submitted. If I wanted everyone to see MJ Sardo's answer, I just need to click share button. So, and it will be shown to the students. So say for example, if you wanted to highlight, thank you so much, Susan, teacher Susan, for sending your answers. Say for example, yeah, so she answered the fire. It will also be shown in the presentation. All right. So as you can see, all of the students' name are here and all of the responses are also here. All right. So moving on to the next one, same content in the presentation. All right. So this one is an example of a collaborative board in Nearpod. So the question is, give three examples of common causes of fire incidents. So say for example, I will submit the answer. Say for example, Kendall. So I submitted my answer. So my answer is Kendall. The word says it's pending approval. So what the teacher needs to do is to click check if she accepts the answer or he accepts the answer, or click X if he or she rejected the answer. So meaning to say, this will be posted after I click the check button. So let's try to click the check button. Yeah, as you can see, it appeared in our collaborative board. So I can also have the control to delete this one. So the post was deleted. Yeah, so that's how collaborative board works. So the teacher can also submit his or her own answer. There. You can see the teacher will have the ability to remove or edit the post, but the students will not have that kind of ability, right? So this can become a platform for students to share their ideas freely. If the students doesn't want their names to be seen, this also have a feature wherein the students can hide, the teacher can hide the student name. So for example, I submitted my answer and I'm really shy to show my name in the presentation. The teacher can just click this button, hide student names, so that the names of the students will be hidden. All right. So as you can see, the students' names are hidden, so that many of them can share their thoughts freely without being judged by other students. All right. So that's how Nearpod works. And then lastly, we have here pairs, activity pairs or matching pairs. So as you can see, we have here the instructions. So the instruction says match each fire class represented by a letter of the alphabet to its corresponding description. So the students can have the ability to play games. Say for example, this one will be matched to this one. So that's an error. This one to this one. That's correct. Flammable liquids, and then cooking oils, fire involving electrical apparatus, solid wood. Yeah. So those are some of the examples of matching pair activity. So as you can see, this student got 6 matches with 7 tries. All right. So, and you can also show them the correct answer. So this one is the correct pattern or the correct combination of the patterns, right? So moving on to the next one. So another discussion part. Here is another activity that is also present in Nearpod. It's fill in the blanks activity, wherein the students will have the ability to drag and drop the choices in the particular boxes. So for example, this one, I just wanted to put random answers. Then they can click done, and then it will show the scores of the students, right? So in here in this view, yeah, it's raining here in our place. So those are some of the activities and tools that are really helpful in the student and teaching online classes, right? Or in the teaching and learning activities in online classes. All right, so that's how Nearpod works. So I will not finish this one. If you wanted to learn more on how to use this tool, I showed you the steps on how to install and to create or to have the application itself. All right. So right now, since I am working with Nearpod as a pioneer, I can give you this 3-month free Nearpod Gold account. So um, kindly screenshot or take a copy of the code. So it's NP/NCE share and get a 3-month Nearpod Gold account for free. So you have 3 months to use the application. Just go to nearpod.com/redeem and insert the code given to you. Right? So yeah, and we have some of the bonus tools. So we have FLB if you wanted to have an application to check your students' outputs online. It's like a voting tool. And we also have Wonder. So Wonder is also another video conferencing tool that we can use freely. All right. So I will finish my presentation with this particular quotation. So according to Emma Cullen on 2022, there's nothing worse than realizing that your students are not actively engaged during a lecture. This can cause a lot of different issues for students and overall feeling of defeat. So that's all, and thank you very much. If you have any questions or training or speakership requests, kindly email me at marchjoseph.sardo@deped.gov.ph. So special thanks to Slides Go, Flaticon, and Flitik for the presentation. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge with our participants. And so we will come back with you in our Q&A session after quiz competition. So
Thank you so much.
please, sir, stay with us. Okay, so dear participants, it's time for quiz. So don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in our comment box. And also get ready for our Q&A session with your question or any kind of queries you want to know. Okay, so enjoy this short video. So welcome everyone in our live quiz competition. Yes, and you can find the joining link in our comment box. And today's quiz code is IGP. You can also scan the QR code that is flashed on our screen. So dear participants, before joining, use your full name as it will be printed in winner certificate. And right now we have 36 participants who joined in this live quiz. So dear participants, mention at least your 5 friends in our comment box. Okay, so it's formal random. When we start our quiz, you can say the question and all the option. So you have to wait. And right now we have 45 participants here. Thank you, Sir Alex Xavier Alvarez. We have Sir Alan H. Brutus, Dr. Milo Bihin, Nan Danica Henna, Nan Hazel Della Torre, Okay, we have Ma'am Hazel, Ma'am Laurie, Sariki or Kalima, Ma'am Dia Fakonga, Ma'am Janeline Rivera, Ma'am Kate Villanova, Ma'am Liesel, Sir Grace. So thank you everyone. So I'm inviting all of our participants who is watching this live right now. So please join with us in this quiz. And we'll start our live quiz competition within a minute. Dear participants, we will share the international webinar code after the Q&A session, so you have to be with us till the end of our program. So, okay, let's start our live quiz competition. So, here is our first question. It is an exception as ICT integration in learning. So, you have two options. Option number one, use of multisensory channels, or option number two, teacher's role is less flexible. So the correct answer is option number two, teacher's role is less flexible, and only 34% of our participants got the correct answer. So let's see the leaderboard. Yes, and we have right now Cherry and Ellen Fonte leading on top, following Sir Alan H. Brutus, placed second, following Sir Joel Apernaso, and we have Nadia Marie, and finally, Membrana Arcillus. So get ready for the next question. Which site provides videos which could be used for teaching and learning? Constant hosting services or blog? And the time is up. 54% chose option number 1 and 46% chose option number 2. So let's see the correct answer. And the right answer is constant hosting services. And 54% of our participants got the correct answer. Okay, in this round we have Sir Alan H. Burgos leading on top, following Nanchaling Kalamaguchi, Sir Joel Abernasor, Nan Lubel, and Nanchali El Infante. Okay. So moving to next question, question number 3. Which is the best measure in determining the success of technology integration? Option number 1, assessment tools, and option number 2, learning objectives. And the right answer is learning objectives. Okay, and only 13% of our participants chose the correct answer. So here is our leaderboard result. We have Sir G-Rex and G leading on top in this round, followed by Charlene Kalamaguchi, Sir Alan H. Brutus, Sir Joel Bernasor, and Charlie L. Infante. So the next question is, a teacher is determining where and how technology fits into lessons. In Edtech, it is called technology integration or technology management. You have lost 5 seconds to answer it. And the correct answer is technology integration. 91% of our participants got the correct answer. Once again, we have Sir Jurix and G leading on top in this round again. And following Namchali Kalamaguchi, we have Sir Alan H. Brutus, Sir Joel Bernasor, and Little Ganadin. Let's see the next question, question number 5. So it should be avoided in using printed visuals. Option number 1, make visible to everyone. Option number 2, make presentation suspenseful. And the correct answer is make presentation suspenseful. 79% of our participants chose the correct answer. Alright, so there's no change in our leaderboard. Again, we have Sir Jerix and G leading on top. Okay, following Sir Ellen H. Brutus, Little A. Ganadin, and Rana Arsenbulas, and Sir Jonathan Russell. So congratulations, those answered correctly. Next question. Which type of web 2.0 allows the class to collaboratively edit online documents? Option number 1, Google Drive. Option number 2, podcasting. And the time is up. So let's see the right answer. It's Google Drive, and 89% of our participants got the correct answer. So once again, we have subjects and G, following Sir Ellen Brutus, Following ng Global at Canada, following ng Moreno Arsenderos, and Sergio Lapernoso. So we are moving to next question, question number 7. So it's blank sentence again. First, you have to put option in the blank. It is the teaching and learning about technology itself, digital literacy, or digital security. And the right answer is option number 1. Digital literacy is the teaching and learning about technology itself, and 98% of our participants answer correctly. So there is no change in our leaderboard name. We have again Sir Jerickson G, following Sir Ellen Spruchers, following Libelek and Adam, then we have Lambrena, Arsenderos, and Sergio Albertos. So moving to next question, question number 8. In teaching and learning, what are the 3 Is? Independence, impact, indifference, or intent, implementation, impact. The right answer is option number 2, intent, implementation, and impact. And 89% majority of the participants get the correct answer. So again, still now, Sir Jilix and Jill leading on top in this round. Following now Liberal Canada, following Sir Alex Butos, we have Sir John Benoso and Sir Kevin Lecantora. Okay, so we have lost 2 more questions. Moving to next question, question number 9. What is not a role of the teaching in mobile learning? Increase motivation of learners or lecture? And the right answer is lecture. 75% of our participants answered correctly. So here is our leaderboard name. Still no Sir Jix and G leading on first position, following Nam Lubelit Canadian, Sir Owen H. Butus, Sir Joel Bernasor, and Nam Nina Miranda. Okay, so one more question. Question number 10. So are you guys ready to answer? Let's see. A cloud-based learning management system that makes teaching and learning easier. Is this Moodle or Canvas? The correct answer is Canvas, and only 38% of our participants got the correct answer. So here is our leaderboard and winner's name. So congratulations, and Lily Ganaton. Following we have Sir Jix and G. We have Sir Kevin. Then we have Sir Danica, Ma'am Danica Honna. We have Ma'am Bia Marie. So let's see the next name. Yes. So here is Ma'am Anna Mary Joy. We have Ma'am Charlie and Infante, Sir Alan H. Brutus, Sir Nico Dennis Miro, and finally Sir Joe Legamoso. So these are our top 10 winners name. So congratulations to our top 10 quiz competition winners. So dear winners, you will get your winner certificates from our Facebook official page. Okay, so don't forget to collect. We will post it after the program. So dear participants, once again, don't forget to tag, share, and mention your friends in our comment section. And get ready for our next session, that is QA with our honorable speaker. Also, ready your question or any kind of queries to ask our speaker. So after the short video, we come back with our speaker. Welcome, Sir and Jay, in our Q&A session again. So, dear participants, please write down your question in our comment box, and our speaker is ready to answer all the question or query you have. Okay, so here is our first question. It's from Sari Liviran. Sir MJ, what recommendation can you give given that all information is available and the student may become passive in this online learning mode?
All right. Is my audio clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So there are a lot of recommendations, and of course tips, and of course some ways on how we can support our student learning, especially in this time of pandemic, and especially um, they are dealing with the online learning mode. So the first thing that we need to do as teachers is, of course, to make it sure that the students are digitally literate. So literacy in digital, or in the use of the digital tools, especially in this online learning mode, is really essential. So there are a lot of information, websites, tools that we can use, but what we need to make sure of is that the students will have the ability to use those tools properly. So for their safety, for their well-being, and etc. So my advice is, of course, to build them digital literacy, um, teach them how to use internet safely, teach them how to use the tools properly, teach them how to avoid being subjected to copyright issues, and those kind of things. So online safety is a must today because we are really engaged in online learning. So that's why that's the first thing that we need to do. So to become a digitally literate teachers and students to survive the 21st century and the current teaching and learning environment in this time of pandemic. That's all. Thank you
Thank
so
you, sir.
much.
Thank you, sir. So here is our next question from Mary Joyce Martin. Good afternoon, Sir MJ. What alternative plan do you do if one or more of your students are having difficulty to enter or cannot join on their online class because of low internet connection?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. The first thing that we need to do is, of course, to identify the modality that the students will have. So, like what we all know, prevention is better than cure. So, the first thing that we need to do is, of course, to categorize the learning modality that the students will undergo. If the students know that they will have, or they will have a difficulty in finding good internet connection, they must choose a modality, say for example, the modular approach, wherein they will be given materials before, and they use those materials to facilitate self-learning and such thing. So in terms that in cases when students choose an online learning, there are two ways on how we can facilitate classes in online learning. One of which is asynchronous learning, and the other one is the synchronous learning. If in case the students will not, or will don't have the ability to join synchronous classes, teachers or online teachers have a way to create learning resources in an asynchronous mode. So in Nearpod, as you can see, I showed you earlier a presentation wherein I just click the presentation which was already made, and then the students will have the ability to answer that modality. So like what I said, you need to prepare as an asynchronous mode of teaching. So all of the tools, all of the resources that you showed in the online synchronous learning will be also available in the online asynchronous learning, so that the students will have the ability to go back with the resources and the videos that you already have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So the next question is from an Evelyn Perry. Good afternoon, sir. What are some drawbacks of using Nearpod? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. Nearpod is a free application, but Nearpod has a lot of limitations. So some of the limitations are falls under the number of participants who can join the classes. Say for example, in Nearpod you can only have a student, or you can only cater students or 25 students in the class. That's why in my case, I use Nearpod and I duplicate those classes so that I will have an additional um, 25 um, slots for my students to enter. So here in the Philippines, we have at least 40 to more than 40 to 60, sometimes 80 participants or students per class. So I know the challenge. That's why we are, like what I said, we need to identify the modality that the student will undergo. So if you are going to use Nearpod as a tool, this is really applicable for students up to 25 participants. If you are going to have a gold account, you will have an additional participant number, say for example, up to 45 or 50. All right. So those are some of the drawbacks of Nearpod. But all in all, the good thing that the Nearpod has is that it has a particular report system wherein you can see all of the engagements that the students have and all the scores that they acquired and obtained. That's all.
Thank you,
Thank you so
sir.
much.
And next question is from Sir Elon. Do we have another series of DEPET EduTech unit webinars in the Philippines this year? Thank you so much.
Yeah. This I guess this is related to my current job description right now. I'm part of the Edtech unit of the Philippines, and we have a lot of programs that you can that you will experience. No, so as of now, we are planning several on-site trainings, and the online trainings are still available in our professional development learning management system, or the PDLMS of the DepEd EdTech unit. You can also see some of the sessions given by the Microsoft team, the Google team, and the Open Educational Resources team. So if you wanted to have or to participate in those kind of activities, kindly follow our official FB page, the DepEd EdTech unit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So next question is from Mitch Miranda. Hi, Sir MJ. For my case, as I am a preschool teacher, I'm having difficulties in getting the attention of the young students. So do you have any recommendation for me? Thank you.
All right. So I don't have an experience in preschool teaching, but I believe that one of the major steps that we need to take before teaching our preschool students is to know them personally. So, as teachers, we have a time for learning each of our students' preferences. Say, for example, are they the type of students who want to always play games? So you need to have a very short survey, a very short observation of the things that the students likes, and they make use of that in the classroom teaching. So say for example, if they wanted to play games, they wanted their attention are really into games, you can create gamified instructions that will cater those students needs, right? So um, they also like to see animated images, animated videos, and I highly recommend creating avatars or creating characters, or say for example animal characters that you can assign to them, so that they will feel that they have a character in a particular set of a story. So you can also create a classroom based story wherein the students are part of the characters, and they will be joining the story, or they will be joining that kind of adventure, so that they will feel that they are really animated characters in the classroom. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So we are taking the last question again from Mary Josie. The question is, good afternoon, sir and Jay. Okay, I think no, it's okay. So the question is, good afternoon, sir and Jay. What alternative plan you do if one or more of your students are having difficulty? Am I read this question?
Yes, it's already
Okay,
but I
so he
yes,
has
sure.
posted this question two times.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, since the goal of the Department of Education of the Philippines is to include each and every individual regardless of their sex, gender, income status, and etc., we need to find a way on how we can support those students who are really having a hard time finding a very good internet connection. So that's why we need as teachers to be as flexible as possible. So we need to convert our online synchronous activities and resources into an online asynchronous mode or an offline learning resource.
I think the next question is related same again with Mary. That what if the other students experience low signal? It's from Sir Cherry.
Alright. So for in cases of this one, might as well collaborate with the other organizations or stakeholders in our education. So um, we have if there are instances that this is really somewhat um, in a large number, we need to find or we need to seek support from the different local government units and other um, stakeholders of education for us to plan properly how um, to have or facilitate a whole year class. So that's why we have a continuing learning plan. So we have those kind of plans so that we can cater all the needs of the students, not only in a day but also in a whole year round. Alright.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming in GP's platform and sharing your knowledge with our participants. And we believe that they will get benefited from this webinar, your presentation. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you so much then too.
Okay. So, dear participants, we are moving to our certification process now. And today's program name is Edtech Integration in Online Teaching and Learning. And the code is IGP 5129. Let me tell you once again. Code is IGP 5129. Yes. And without this code, no one is eligible for certificates. And with code, you can claim your certificates anytime you want. So you can also visit our website. Our website address is www.eduigp.com. So let me tell you again, www.eduigp.com. So visit our website. You can find the more upcoming webinar also there, and get your certificates, and don't forget to celebrate with achievement. Yes, once again, thank you everyone for joining with us in this live session and asking your question, participation, your email quiz competition. Thank you for your cooperation. Really, your attachment encourage us to do the best and give the best service to all of you. So we want all of you with IGP in this long journey. Dear participants, I'm inviting all of you to our next session, next webinar in the evening. So don't miss it. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great day to all of you. I'm Nasreen from Bangladesh, signing off right now. Thank you, everyone.